Hello, beautiful soul. I want you to take a deep breath with me right now. Just breathe in slowly, and as you breathe out, let yourself settle into this moment. You are exactly where you need to be right now, and I am so grateful that our paths have crossed in this sacred space of learning and growth. There's something special happening in your life right now. You may not see it yet, you may not feel it completely, but there's a stirring within you. It's what brought you here today. It's that gentle whisper from your soul saying that you're ready for something more, something beautiful, something miraculous. And you know what? That whisper is absolutely right. I've spent decades working with people just like you, beautiful souls who have felt that there must be more to life than what they've been experiencing. And what I've discovered, time and time again, is that miracles aren't some rare, extraordinary events that happen to a chosen few. Miracles are actually the most natural thing in the world. They're happening all around us, every single day. The challenge isn't that miracles don't exist or that we're not worthy of them. The challenge is that we've been taught to look away from them, to dismiss them, or to believe that we somehow don't deserve them. But here's what I know to be absolutely true. You do deserve miracles. You deserve love. You deserve abundance. You deserve joy. You deserve all the beautiful things that life has to offer. And this isn't because you've earned it through struggle or because you've been perfect. You deserve these things simply because you exist, because you are a precious expression of life itself. Right now, as you're listening to these words, I want you to feel into the possibility that your life is about to change in ways that will surprise and delight you. Not because I'm going to wave a magic wand, but because you're finally ready to open yourself to receive what has always been waiting for you. The universe has been preparing gifts for you, opportunities for you, love for you. But sometimes we need to learn how to create the space to receive them. You see, receiving is actually an art. It's something we can learn and practice and get better at. Many of us were never taught how to receive gracefully. We were taught to work hard, to struggle, to prove our worth, but we weren't taught how to simply open our arms and our hearts and say yes to the good that wants to come to us. This is your time. This is your moment. Something within you has shifted, and you're ready to step into a new way of being. You're ready to become someone who not only believes in miracles, but actually experiences them on a regular basis. And the beautiful thing is that once you start receiving miracles, once you start noticing them and welcoming them, they begin to multiply. It's as if the universe says, "Oh, this beautiful soul is finally ready to receive. Let's give them more." As we spend this time together, I want you to know that you're safe here. You're safe to dream bigger than you've ever dreamed before. You're safe to hope for things that maybe you've been afraid to hope for. You're safe to imagine that your life could be filled with so much more love, more joy, more abundance, more peace than you've ever experienced before. The truth is, you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready for this transformation. Your soul has guided you to this exact moment because it knows you're prepared to step into a new chapter of your life. A chapter where miracles aren't something you just hear about in stories, but something you live and breathe and experience as a natural part of your beautiful life. Now, let's talk honestly about what might be standing in the way of you receiving all the miracles that are waiting for you. Because here's what I've learned after working with thousands of people over the years. It's rarely that miracles aren't available to us. It's that we have invisible barriers, like walls made of old beliefs and past hurts, that keep the good things from reaching us. The first thing that often blocks our ability to receive is a deep, often unconscious belief that we're not worthy. This belief usually gets planted in us when we're very young, long before we have the wisdom to question it. Maybe you heard messages like, "Don't get your hopes up," or good things don't happen to people like us, or you have to work twice as hard to get half as much. Maybe you were told that wanting nice things was selfish, or that there wasn't enough to go around, so you shouldn't ask for too much. These messages, even when they came from people who loved us and were trying to protect us from disappointment, can create a wall around our hearts. They make us unconsciously push away the very things we most desire. It's like having your hands stretched out asking for a gift, but then pulling them back just as someone tries to give it to you. Another common block is fear. Fear that if something wonderful happens to us, it will be taken away. Fear that we'll somehow mess it up. Fear that if we get what we want, we'll become selfish or lose our edge or forget where we came from. Fear that other people will judge us or become jealous. These fears can make us sabotage our own success and happiness, often in ways we don't even realize. Sometimes we block our receiving because we've become so used to struggle that we don't know who we'd be without it. Struggle can become our identity. We might think, I'm someone who works hard and overcomes obstacles. And while there's nothing wrong with being resilient and hardworking, when struggle becomes our whole identity, we unconsciously resist ease and flow because it doesn't fit with who we think we are. There's also what I call the martyr complex, where we believe that our job is to give and give and give, but never to receive. We think that receiving somehow makes us selfish or needy. But here's what I want you to understand. Receiving is just as important as giving. In fact, if you can't receive, you're actually blocking the natural flow of abundance in the world. When someone wants to give you a compliment, a gift, help, or love, and you push it away, you're denying them the joy of giving. Past experiences can also create blocks. If you've been hurt or disappointed before, if you've trusted and been let down, if you've opened your heart and had it broken, it's natural that you might want to protect yourself. But sometimes that protection becomes like armor that keeps out the bad things, but also keeps out all the good things. Many of us also carry what I call ancestral programming. These are beliefs and patterns that have been passed down through generations. Maybe your grandparents lived through very difficult times and had to be extremely careful and cautious to survive. Maybe your parents grew up hearing that money is the root of all evil, or that you can't trust anyone, or that life is just one hardship after another. These beliefs can live in our cells, influencing how we see the world and what we believe is possible for us, even when our current circumstances are completely different. The conditioning from our early years is particularly powerful because children accept everything they hear as absolute truth. If a child grows up in an environment where love is conditional, where they have to be perfect to be accepted, where there's a lot of criticism or comparison, they might develop the belief that they have to earn every good thing that comes to them. They might believe that their natural self isn't enough, that they have to constantly prove their worth. Religious or cultural conditioning can also create blocks. Some people grow up believing that suffering is noble, that you're supposed to sacrifice your own happiness for others, that it's wrong to want material things, or that you should always put yourself last. While these teachings often come from a place of wanting to create good, caring people, they can sometimes go too far and make us feel guilty for wanting to live a full, abundant, joyful life. Now let's explore how we can shift from that old scarcity mindset to a beautiful, expansive abundance mindset. Because here's what I know to be true. The universe is not a place of lack. The universe is not stingy or withholding. The universe is abundant beyond our wildest dreams, and it wants to share that abundance with us. Think about nature for a moment. Look at how many leaves are on a single tree, how many grains of sand are on a beach, how many stars are in the sky. Nature doesn't hold back. Nature doesn't say, Well, I'd better only make a few flowers this spring because I might run out of beauty. Nature creates with wild, joyful abundance, and we are part of nature. We are expressions of that same creative, abundant force. But somewhere along the way, many of us learned to see the world through the lens of scarcity. We learned to notice what was missing instead of what was present. We learned to focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go wonderfully right. We learned to count our problems instead of counting our blessings. This scarcity mindset shows up in so many subtle ways. We might find ourselves thinking thoughts like, there's not enough time, or there's not enough money, or there's not enough love to go around. We might find ourselves hoarding things, afraid to use our nice dishes or wear our good clothes because we're saving them for some special occasion that never comes. We might find ourselves competitive in an unhealthy way, believing that someone else's success somehow diminishes our own chances. The scarcity mindset also makes us focus on what we don't have instead of appreciating what we do have. It makes us postpone our happiness, thinking that we'll be happy when we get the job, when we meet the person, when we have the money, when we lose the weight. But abundance consciousness knows that happiness is available right now, that joy is our birthright, that we can choose to see the miracles that are already present in our lives. When we operate from scarcity, we often make decisions from fear instead of love. We might stay in situations that don't serve us because we're afraid there's nothing better out there. We might settle for less than we deserve because we don't believe we can have what we really want. We might say no to opportunities because we're afraid of taking risks. But abundance consciousness operates from a completely different place. It knows that there's enough for everyone. It knows that someone else's success doesn't take away from our own possibilities. It knows that the universe is always conspiring to bring us good things, and our job is to stay open and receptive to receiving them. An abundant mindset looks for evidence of abundance everywhere. It notices the way the sun rises every single day without being asked. It notices how our hearts beat without us having to think about it. It notices the way flowers push through concrete to reach toward the light. It notices the kindness of strangers, the loyalty of friends, the unconditional love of animals. When we start to really pay attention, we realize that we're surrounded by abundance. We have air to breathe, water to drink, food to nourish our bodies. We have the miracle of our senses that allow us to see beauty, hear music, taste delicious food, feel the warmth of the sun on our skin. We have the incredible gift of our minds that can imagine, create, dream, and love. Abundance consciousness also recognizes that there are many different kinds of wealth. Yes, financial abundance is wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with wanting it. But there's also emotional wealth, spiritual wealth, relational wealth, creative wealth, and the wealth of experiences. Sometimes when we focus only on one type of abundance, we miss all the other kinds that are already flowing into our lives. The shift from scarcity to abundance often starts with gratitude. When we begin to genuinely appreciate what we already have, we naturally start to see more things to be grateful for. It's as if gratitude is a magnet that attracts more good things into our experience. This doesn't mean we should be grateful for things that genuinely hurt us or accept situations that aren't right for us. It means we can appreciate the good that's present while still being open to even more good coming our way. Another important part of shifting to abundance consciousness is learning to celebrate other people's success. When we can genuinely feel happy for others when good things happen to them, we're telling the universe that we believe in abundance. We're saying that there's enough good to go around and that other people's blessings are evidence that blessings are possible for us too. This shift also involves becoming aware of our language and the stories we tell ourselves. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," we might say, "I'm choosing to spend my money on other things right now." Instead of saying, "I never have enough time," we might say, "I'm learning to prioritize what's most important to me." Small changes in language can create big changes in how we see our lives and what we believe is possible. Now that we've begun to understand how abundance is our natural state, let's talk about preparing ourselves to receive the miracles that are waiting for us. Think of your inner world like a beautiful garden. Just as a gardener prepares the soil before planting seeds, we need to prepare our inner soil before we can fully receive and nurture the miracles that want to grow in our lives. The first step in preparing your inner garden is to clear away the weeds of old beliefs that no longer serve you. These are the thoughts and beliefs that have been taking up space in your consciousness, crowding out the new, beautiful things that want to grow. Some of these weeds might be beliefs like, "I don't deserve good things," or "life is supposed to be hard," or "good things always come with a price." These beliefs might have served a purpose at one time, perhaps protecting you from disappointment or helping you navigate difficult circumstances, but now they're just taking up valuable space where miracles could flourish. Clearing these old beliefs isn't about judging yourself for having them or trying to rip them out forcefully. It's more like gently acknowledging them and then making a conscious choice to plant something better in their place. You might say to yourself, "Thank you, old belief, for trying to protect me, but I don't need you anymore. I'm ready to believe something new and wonderful about myself and my life." One of the most important weeds to clear is the habit of self-criticism. So many of us have an inner voice that constantly tells us we're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, successful enough. This inner critic might think it's helping us by keeping us humble or motivating us to do better, but really it's just creating a toxic environment where miracles can't take root. Would you plant a beautiful flower and then spend all day telling it that it's ugly and worthless? Of course not. Yet that's often how we treat ourselves. Learning to speak to yourself with kindness and compassion is like creating rich, nourishing soil for your dreams to grow in. When you catch yourself being self-critical, you can gently redirect that voice. Instead of, "I'm so stupid for making that mistake," you might say, "I'm learning and growing, and mistakes are part of that process." Instead of, "I'll never be successful," you might say, "I'm becoming more successful every day as I learn and grow." Another crucial part of preparing your inner garden is the practice of forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about saying that whatever happened to you was okay, or that you have to keep toxic people in your life. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the heavy burden of resentment and anger so that you have space in your heart for joy and love and miracles. When we hold on to resentment, it's like keeping weeds in our garden and watering them every day. The resentment grows bigger and stronger, taking up more and more space until there's no room for anything beautiful to grow. But when we choose to forgive, we're not doing it for the other person. We're doing it for ourselves. We're choosing to stop watering the weeds so that we can use that energy to nurture the flowers instead. Forgiving yourself is often the most important and the most challenging part of this process. Many of us carry guilt and shame about things we've done or haven't done, choices we've made or opportunities we've missed. But holding on to self-blame is like trying to drive forward while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. It keeps you stuck in the past instead of moving toward the beautiful future that's waiting for you. Self-forgiveness starts with understanding that you did the best you could with the knowledge, resources, and emotional capacity you had at the time. You weren't trying to make bad choices or hurt yourself or others. You were doing what seemed right or necessary given your circumstances. Now you know better, so you can do better. That's not a reason for shame. That's a reason for celebration. It means you're growing and evolving. Creating space in your inner garden also means releasing the need to control every detail of how your miracles will manifest. Sometimes we have such specific ideas about how things should unfold that we miss the even better opportunities that the universe is trying to bring us. It's like ordering a specific flower for your garden and then being so focused on watching for that exact flower that you miss the gorgeous rose bush that's already starting to bloom right next to you. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have desires or set goals. It means holding your desires lightly, with an open hand rather than a clenched fist. It means saying to the universe, "This is what I think I want, but I'm open to receiving something even better if that's what you have in mind for me." Part of preparing your inner garden is also about creating healthy boundaries. Just as a gardener might put up a fence to keep out animals that would damage the plants, you need to protect your energy and your dreams from people and situations that would drain or diminish them. This might mean spending less time with people who are constantly negative or critical. It might mean turning off the news when it's making you feel anxious and hopeless. It might mean saying no to commitments that don't align with your values or goals. Creating boundaries isn't about being mean or selfish. It's about recognizing that your energy and attention are precious resources, and you want to invest them wisely. When you protect your energy, you have more to give to the people and activities that truly matter to you. As your inner garden becomes clearer and more prepared, you'll start to notice that your heart naturally begins to open. Opening your heart to receive is perhaps the most beautiful and transformative part of this whole process. Your heart is the gateway through which all miracles flow into your life. When your heart is closed, even the most wonderful opportunities can't reach you. But when your heart is open, you become like a magnet for all the love and abundance and joy that the universe wants to share with you. Many of us learn to close our hearts as a way of protecting ourselves from pain. If you've been hurt before, if you've trusted and been betrayed, if you've loved and lost, it makes perfect sense that you might want to build walls around your heart. But here's what I've learned. Those walls that are meant to keep out the pain also keep out the joy. They keep out the love. They keep out the miracles. Opening your heart doesn't mean becoming naive or vulnerable to people who might hurt you. It means developing the wisdom to discern who and what deserves access to your heart, while still keeping your heart open to receive all the good that life has to offer. It's the difference between having a door that's locked and bolted shut versus having a door with a good lock that you can choose to open for the right people and opportunities. One of the most powerful ways to open your heart is through the practice of self-love. When you truly love and accept yourself, when you treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would show to a dear friend, your heart naturally opens. Self-love isn't about thinking you're perfect or better than everyone else. It's about recognizing your inherent worth as a human being, independent of your achievements or mistakes or what anyone else thinks about you. Self-love shows up in simple, everyday ways. It's speaking to yourself kindly. It's taking care of your body by feeding it nourishing food and giving it rest when it needs it. It's pursuing activities that bring you joy. It's setting boundaries with people who don't treat you well. It's forgiving yourself when you make mistakes. It's celebrating your successes, even the small ones. When you love yourself, you naturally start to believe that you deserve good things. And when you believe you deserve good things, you start to notice and attract more good things into your life. It's a beautiful upward spiral that begins with the simple decision to be kind to yourself. Another way to open your heart is through gratitude. When you focus on appreciating what you already have, your heart expands with warmth and joy. Gratitude is like sunshine for your heart. It helps everything grow and bloom. And the more grateful you become, the more things you find to be grateful for. But here's an important distinction. I'm not talking about forced gratitude or toxic positivity, where you pretend everything is wonderful when it's not. I'm talking about authentic appreciation for the genuine blessings in your life, even when other areas might be challenging. You can be grateful for your morning coffee while still acknowledging that you're stressed about work. You can appreciate a beautiful sunset while still working through grief or disappointment. Gratitude doesn't require you to deny difficult emotions. It just helps you remember that there's also good present in your life. Breathing is another powerful tool for opening your heart. When we're stressed or afraid, we tend to breathe in a shallow way that keeps our hearts contracted. But when we breathe deeply and consciously, we're sending a message to our entire system that it's safe to relax and open. Try taking a few deep breaths right now, breathing into your heart area, and notice how it feels to soften and expand with each breath. As your heart opens more and more, you'll find that you naturally become more receptive to all kinds of miracles. You'll start noticing beauty everywhere. You'll find yourself feeling more connected to other people and to life itself. You'll begin to trust that good things are not only possible for you, but are actually your birthright. This brings us to one of the most important aspects of receiving miracles: learning to align with divine timing. One of the biggest sources of frustration and disappointment in our lives comes from wanting things to happen on our timeline instead of trusting the perfect timing of the universe. We live in a culture that values speed and instant gratification, but miracles often unfold according to a rhythm that's deeper and wiser than our impatient minds can understand. Divine timing doesn't mean that you should sit back passively and wait for things to happen to you. It means taking inspired action while also trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. It means doing your part while allowing the universe to do its part. It's like planting a seed and then watering it and giving it sunlight, but not digging it up every day to see if it's growing yet. Sometimes the timing that seems wrong to us is actually perfect when we look back on it later. Maybe you didn't get that job you wanted, but staying where you were led you to meet your future business partner. Maybe that relationship ended when you thought you weren't ready, but it freed you up to heal and grow in ways that prepared you for an even more beautiful love. Maybe that financial opportunity fell through, but it protected you from something that would have been much more stressful than you realized. The challenge is learning to trust this process when you're in the middle of uncertainty. When you want something so badly and it's not happening yet, it's natural to feel frustrated or worried that maybe it's never going to happen. But what if, instead of seeing delays as problems, you could see them as preparation time? What if the universe is using this time to arrange things in ways that will make your miracle even more wonderful when it arrives? Sometimes divine timing means that you need to grow into the person who's ready to receive what you're asking for. Maybe you're asking for a loving relationship, but you still have some healing to do around trust or self-worth. Maybe you're asking for financial abundance, but you need to develop better money management skills or shift some beliefs about wealth. Maybe you're asking for a creative opportunity, but you need to build your skills or confidence first. The waiting time isn't punishment, it's preparation. Learning to align with divine timing also means releasing the need to force outcomes. When we try to force things to happen, we often create resistance and struggle. It's like trying to push a river to flow faster. The river is already flowing perfectly. Our job is to get in and let it carry us. When we align with the natural flow of life instead of fighting against it, everything becomes easier and more joyful. This doesn't mean being passive or giving up on your dreams. It means taking action from a place of inspiration rather than desperation. It means moving forward with confidence while staying flexible about how things unfold. It means saying yes to opportunities that feel right, while also being willing to let go of opportunities that require you to force or struggle too much. Trusting divine timing also requires developing patience and faith. Patience isn't about gritting your teeth and enduring. It's about finding peace and even joy in the present moment while you're moving toward your dreams. It's about trusting that what's meant for you will find you at exactly the right time. Faith isn't about blind belief. It's about remembering all the times in your past when things worked out, even when you couldn't see how they would at the time. One of the most beautiful things about preparing yourself to receive miracles is that it doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic changes. It happens through simple, loving daily practices that gradually shift your energy and consciousness. These practices become like a gentle rhythm in your life, a way of moving through each day with openness and expectancy. Your morning is such a precious time for setting the tone of miracle consciousness. The way you begin your day creates a foundation for everything that follows. Instead of rushing into the day with worry about your to-do list or immediately checking your phone for news or messages, what if you gave yourself just a few minutes to connect with the possibility that today could bring something wonderful? You might begin by simply taking 3 deep breaths and saying to yourself, "I am open to receiving miracles today." You don't need to know what form they'll take or when they'll appear. You're just setting an intention to stay awake and aware to the magic that's always available to you. This simple practice sends a message to your subconscious mind and to the universe that you're ready to receive. Another beautiful morning practice is to spend a few moments thinking about what you're grateful for from the previous day. It might be something big like a promotion or a wonderful conversation with a friend, or it might be something small like the way the light looked through your window or the taste of your morning tea. When you start your day by acknowledging the good that's already present in your life, you're training your mind to look for more good throughout the day. Some people love to write in a journal each morning, just letting their thoughts and feelings flow onto paper. This can be incredibly helpful for clearing away any mental clutter or worries that might block your receptivity. You might write about your dreams and goals, or simply describe how you're feeling and what you're hoping for. The act of writing helps you get clear about what's in your heart and mind. Throughout your day, you can practice what I like to call miracle awareness. This means staying gently alert to the unexpected blessings that show up. It might be finding a parking space right where you need it, or having someone offer you exactly the help you needed, or receiving a compliment that brightens your whole day. These things happen all the time, but we often miss them because we're focused on our problems or rushing from one task to another. Developing miracle awareness is like developing any other skill. The more you practice noticing the small miracles, the more you'll see them. And the more you appreciate the small miracles, the more space you create for bigger ones to manifest. It's as if the universe says, "Oh, this person notices and appreciates what I'm giving them. Let me give them more." Gratitude practice can become a powerful thread that runs through your entire day. You might pause at different moments to appreciate something you're experiencing. While you're eating lunch, you could take a moment to really taste your food and feel grateful for the nourishment. While you're walking, you might notice the sky or the trees and feel appreciation for the beauty around you. While you're talking with someone you care about, you might silently feel grateful for their presence in your life. These moments of appreciation don't need to be long or formal. They're just gentle pauses where you let your heart open to the goodness that's present. But these small moments add up to create a whole different way of experiencing life. Instead of moving through your day focused on what's wrong or missing, you start to move through your day aware of how much richness and beauty and love is actually present. Evening practices are just as important as morning ones. Before you go to sleep, you might spend a few minutes reviewing your day with appreciation. What went well? What brought you joy? Who was kind to you? What did you learn? This practice helps your subconscious mind process the day from a positive perspective, and it often helps you sleep more peacefully too. You might also use your evening time to set gentle intentions for the next day. Not demands or expectations, but soft hopes for how you'd like to feel and what you'd like to experience. You might say something like, "Tomorrow I'd like to feel peaceful and joyful. I'd like to be helpful to others and open to receiving help when I need it. I'd like to notice the beauty around me and feel connected to the people I love." Some people find it helpful to create small rituals that remind them of their openness to miracles. It might be lighting a candle each morning, or keeping fresh flowers in your home, or wearing a piece of jewelry that symbolizes your intention to receive. These physical reminders help keep your consciousness tuned to the frequency of miracles. Prayer or meditation can also be powerful daily practices, but they don't need to be complicated or time-consuming. Even just a few minutes of quiet time where you connect with something larger than yourself can be profoundly supportive. You might simply sit quietly and breathe, or you might speak from your heart about what you're grateful for and what you're hoping for. The key to all of these practices is consistency rather than perfection. You don't need to do everything perfectly or never miss a day. You're building new habits of consciousness, and like any habit, they get stronger with practice. Even if you only remember to practice gratitude once during a busy day, that's still valuable. Even if your morning intention setting is just a quick thought while you're brushing your teeth, that still makes a difference. As you develop these daily practices, you'll probably start to notice that your whole relationship with life begins to shift. You'll find yourself feeling more peaceful and optimistic. You'll start to see opportunities where you used to see only obstacles. You'll feel more connected to other people and more trusting that good things are possible for you. One of the most important shifts that happens as you deepen your miracle consciousness is that you begin to expand your definition of what constitutes a miracle. Many people think of miracles only as dramatic, life-changing events. But when you really start paying attention, you realize that miracles are happening all around you all the time, in forms both large and small. A miracle might be the way a stranger smiles at you just when you're feeling lonely. It might be finding exactly the right book at exactly the right time. It might be your child saying something that gives you a completely new perspective on a problem you've been struggling with. It might be waking up feeling refreshed after a good night's sleep, or having your favorite song come on the radio just when you need to hear it. The truth is that we live in a world that's absolutely saturated with miracles, but most of us have been trained to see only the ordinary. We dismiss the extraordinary as coincidence or luck. But when you start to really pay attention, you realize that there are no accidents. Everything is connected in ways that are far more beautiful and meaningful than our logical minds can fully understand. Your body is performing countless miracles every single day. Your heart beats without you having to think about it. Your lungs breathe for you while you sleep. Your immune system works constantly to keep you healthy. Your brain processes millions of pieces of information every second. If that's not miraculous, what is? Nature is constantly demonstrating miracles. Seeds somehow know how to become plants. Caterpillars transform into butterflies. Trees know how to turn sunlight into energy. Birds know how to navigate thousands of miles during migration. The ocean tides respond to the pull of the moon. Every sunrise and sunset is a daily miracle that we often take for granted because it's so consistent. Human connections are filled with everyday miracles. The way two people can fall in love, the way a parent instinctively knows how to care for their child, the way friends can understand each other without words. the way communities come together to help each other during difficult times, the way strangers can become family and family can become friends. Even challenging experiences can contain miracles when we learn to look for them. The miracle of resilience that helps you get through difficult times. The miracle of growth that happens when you face your fears. The miracle of compassion that develops when you've experienced pain and can therefore understand others' pain. The miracle of wisdom that comes from making mistakes and learning from them. Learning to recognize miracles in all their forms is partly about changing your perspective and partly about paying closer attention. Instead of rushing through your day, focused only on your goals and problems, you start to move more slowly and consciously, aware that magic might be happening right in front of you. This doesn't mean becoming impractical or naive. You can still be responsible and realistic while also staying open to wonder and surprise. You can still plan and work toward your goals while also staying alert to unexpected opportunities and blessings that might appear along the way. Sometimes the biggest miracles are the ones that initially look like problems or setbacks. The job you didn't get that leads you to a much better opportunity. The relationship that ends and frees you to meet the love of your life. The illness that slows you down and helps you reconnect with what really matters. The financial challenge that teaches you to appreciate simple pleasures and discover inner resources you didn't know you had. When you start to recognize miracles in all their forms, you also start to see that you yourself are a miracle. The fact that you exist at all, with your unique combination of talents and perspectives and experiences, is absolutely extraordinary. The way you can think and feel and create and love and dream is miraculous. The way you can change and grow and heal and help others is miraculous. But even as you develop this expanded awareness of miracles, there will still be times when it feels like nothing good is happening in your life. There will be waiting periods when you're working towards something you want, but it hasn't manifested yet. There will be times when you're doing all the right things, but life still feels difficult or stagnant. During these waiting periods, it's especially important to maintain your faith and your miracle consciousness. This is when your practice becomes most valuable, because it's easy to stay positive when everything is going well. The real test is whether you can maintain hope and openness when you can't see evidence of progress. The first thing to remember during waiting periods is that not seeing results doesn't mean nothing is happening. So much of the most important work happens beneath the surface, invisible to our eyes. Just like a seed that's been planted underground, there might be tremendous growth and development happening that you simply can't see yet. During these times, your job is to keep tending to your inner garden, keep practicing gratitude, keep treating yourself with love and compassion, keep taking inspired action when opportunities present themselves. Keep trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect timing, even when you can't understand the timing from your current perspective. Waiting periods are often preparation periods. The universe might be arranging people and circumstances in ways that will make your miracle even more wonderful when it arrives. You might be developing skills or wisdom or inner strength that you'll need to handle the blessing that's coming. You might be healing old wounds or releasing old patterns that would interfere with your ability to receive what you're asking for. Sometimes during waiting periods, it helps to focus on what you can control rather than what you can't control. You can't control the timing of external events, but you can control how you choose to think and feel and act each day. You can control whether you speak kindly to yourself or critically. You can control whether you look for evidence of hope or evidence of despair. You can control whether you treat your body with care and your relationships with love. It's also important to remember that your current circumstances are not your final destination. Just because something isn't working out the way you hoped doesn't mean it will never work out. Just because you haven't received the miracle you're longing for doesn't mean you never will. Life is constantly changing and evolving, and what seems impossible today might be completely natural tomorrow. During challenging times, it can be helpful to remember other times in your life when things worked out in ways you couldn't have predicted. Think about problems that seemed insurmountable that eventually resolved themselves. Think about times when you got something even better than what you originally thought you wanted. Think about people who came into your life at exactly the right moment, or opportunities that appeared just when you needed them most. Faith isn't about pretending that everything is perfect when it's not. Faith is about remembering that you've survived difficult times before and trusting that you have the strength and wisdom to navigate whatever you're facing now. Faith is about believing that love is stronger than fear, that hope is stronger than despair, and that life wants to support you even when it doesn't feel that way. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to know how proud I am of you for being here, for being open to these ideas, for being willing to consider that your life could be filled with more miracles than you've ever imagined. The very fact that you're listening to these words means that something inside you is ready for transformation, ready for more joy, more love, more abundance, more magic. You are standing at the threshold of a new chapter in your life. Everything you've experienced up until now has been preparing you for this moment, this opportunity to step into a new way of being. You have everything you need within you to create a life that's filled with miracles. You have the wisdom to make good choices, the strength to overcome challenges, the love to heal old wounds, and the courage to open your heart to all the wonderful things that are waiting for you. Your journey toward a miracle-filled life isn't about becoming someone different than who you are. It's about becoming more fully yourself, more fully the beautiful, unique, valuable person you were always meant to be. It's about letting go of the limitations and fears that have been keeping you small and stepping into the magnificent potential that has always been within you. The miracles that are waiting for you aren't just external things like money or relationships or career success, although those things might very well come. The most important miracles are the internal ones. The miracle of self-love, the miracle of inner peace, the miracle of feeling truly connected to life and to other people, the miracle of knowing in your heart that you are valuable and deserving of all good things. As you go forward from here, remember that you don't have to do this perfectly. You don't have to remember every single thing we've talked about or practice every single technique every single day. Just take what resonates with you and start there. Trust your own inner wisdom to guide you toward the practices and perspectives that will serve you best. Remember that miracles are your birthright. You don't have to earn them or prove you deserve them. You deserve them simply because you exist, because you are a precious, irreplaceable expression of life itself. The universe wants to give you good things. Your job is simply to stay open to receiving them. Be patient with yourself as you develop new habits of thinking and being. Be gentle with yourself when you slip back into old patterns of fear or doubt. Be proud of yourself for every small step you take toward greater self-love and openness. Celebrate every miracle you notice, no matter how small it might seem. Trust the process, trust the timing, trust your own inner wisdom, and most of all, trust in the love that surrounds you always, even when you can't feel it. You are loved beyond measure, and you are capable of creating a life that's more beautiful than anything you've ever dreamed possible. This is your time to receive. This is your time to open your arms and your heart to all the miracles that have been waiting patiently for you to be ready for them. They're here, they're real, and they're yours. All you have to do is say yes.